What's going on, everybody? So in today's video, I wanted to talk about the differences between my Alienware aw2721d. It is a 1440p 240 hertz monitor compared to my Benq xl2546k, which is a 1080p 240 hertz monitor. And I recently just switched back to my Benq, and I gamed on it for about a day or so. I've had that monitor for around a year and a half now, almost, and I can confidently say that I personally prefer 1440p. Now, when it comes to this Alienware monitor, it is a good all-around monitor, but it doesn't excel in one area or the other. It's just a really good all-around monitor, whereas my Benq, it is just purely for esports gaming. And I could say when it comes to my Benq, the biggest feature on it is diac. Diac is amazing. It is so good, and honestly, it has ruined my eyes when it comes to any other monitor because I am comparing that to everything else. When it comes to the blacklight equalizer, which basically boosts shadows and gets rid of shadows, and having that diac, which pretty much this is a motion blur reduction, it's amazing. It is really good. And it is, if you are playing a esports title, or if you are really heavy into Call of Duty or really heavy into first person shooters, I would highly recommend this monitor. Now, when it comes to my Alienware, master of none but excels in all, if I even said that right, 1440p is just so clear, man. It's so clear. It's so beautifully clear. And this monitor is absolutely beautiful. But the one thing that I do notice, since I don't have that motion blur reduction diac on this monitor, I can kind of see the motion blur when I'm like swiping back and forth really fast, and really disorienting if you're not used to it. But being a 240 hertz monitor, it kind of combats that, but it's still a really good monitor, and I'm going to be sticking to this monitor. Now, here's the thing: you're going to lose FPS at 1440 240 hertz. You're not going to get that in most games unless you turn down some settings. And the beautiful thing about 1440p and this monitor is I can go in and I can actually switch it down to 1080p if I wanted to. And that is one of the things that I thoroughly enjoy about this monitor. If I wanted to have a high FPS, if I want to have a high FPS, then I can get that by just switching it down to 1080p. It still looks, decent. Another thing is my Benq is a 24.5 inch monitor, and my Alienware is a 27 inch monitor. I think I personally prefer 27 inch. I think it's the perfect size between most of the games that I play, and I just don't play Call of Duty. I play Battlefield, I play Destiny, a bunch of other games, a bunch of first person shooters, a bunch of, I'm currently playing The Witcher right now, and it just looks beautiful. Everything looks beautiful on this monitor, whereas on my Benq, everything looks good, but it's not like the best. You know what I mean? It's purely, you could tell, oversaturated colors, all that good stuff. You could tell that it was made purely for gaming, and that is okay. That's all right. I don't have a problem with that. But the problem comes into, okay, what I suggest is Alienware monitor, or what I suggest is Benq monitor. Which one do I think is better? Like I said, each of them have their pros and cons. And one, you're sacrificing visual clarity for the Benq. You're sacrificing visual clarity for a high, pretty much no motion blur refresh rate monitor. And if you're playing esports and all you care about is being the first thing, like you want to see someone on the screen really fast, or when you're flicking, you are going to want this monitor. On the flip side to that, if you want something that's still smooth, but there's just a little bit of motion blur in it. And I know some people are not going to be able to see this, but I play really competitively, and I could tell like the motion blur. So to the average eye, you're not going to notice this. If you don't have a Benq or you're coming from a different monitor going to 240 hertz, 1440p, you might not notice this, but 1440p, 240 hertz is still, this monitor, the Alienware, is still a smooth monitor. It is such a good monitor. And I think I personally prefer this monitor personally, because if you're not just playing first person shooters, if you're diving into other games, if you're playing games that are visually stunning, and if you have the PC hardware to do it, I have a 5900X in my PC overclocked. I get 5.1 gigahertz on a couple of cores when I game, and I have a 3070 overclocked too. So I'm getting pretty decent FPS at 1440p. I'm usually around the high 100, low 200s most games that I play, and I think that this monitor is really good if you're just trying to play games. It's a monitor that shroud you. Okay, let's put that. This is the monitor, the Alienware, the Alienware 2721D is a monitor that Shroud uses. And thing is, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me. And he is a professional gamer, more professional than I could ever be, and he has played at the top level for the longest time, and he loves this monitor. So I think I'm gonna just be sticking to 1440p. I personally think it's like one of the best monitors to use. But if you're purely playing competitively, if all you care about is FPS and purely no motion blur, nothing, high saturated colors, I will go with the Benq. And that is my personal recommendation. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys prefer. I think I personally prefer 1440p, and it is something that's just for me. Because like I said, playing other games, I also edit on this monitor. So my Alienware 1440p, I edit on this. So I think it's worth it in my personal opinion. But as always, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What monitor do you have, or are you on a 144 hertz monitor, or you're debating about going to a 240 hertz monitor? Let me know down in the comment section below. Always remember to stay blessed and stay humble, and I will catch you guys in a future video.